Hey, before we get into the video, slight update I gotta give for next week. I am not going to be here to call the Broncos and Cowboys game. Timing just didn't work out. I've got some stuff that I'm doing with my girlfriend for her brother's birthday that day. Obviously, can't really throw that to the side to come watch football, so apologies for that in advance. Hope you guys enjoy the video. I will have something of a post game up after the game, probably that Monday. I might combine winners, losers, and just the post game analysis after that. So, without further ado, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's actually get into these winners and losers, huh? After a shocking comeback in Week 7 of the 2025 NFL season, the Denver Broncos have moved themselves to 5-2. This is the first in the winners and losers format that I am attempting to do, so bear with me for this one because we are going into uncharted territory. Welcome back to another episode of Crushing It with Miles Smith. Of course, that's me, your host, and we are going to get into 5 winners and 5 losers for the Denver Broncos Week 7 victory over the New York Giants. Despite the insane comeback, despite everything that happened, there are winners and there are losers, and let's get into it right now. Winner, ding ding ding, I don't think anyone had to guess who this one was going to be. Bo Nix throws himself into the winners category, and I literally mean throws himself, runs himself, no matter what you want to say. Bo Nix managed to fight his way into this winners position to become one of my personal winners from the game with just a ridiculous fourth quarter, 218 yards, 4 total touchdowns. Bo Nix was a machine in that fourth quarter. My God, he was suddenly throwing dimes. The back shoulder ball looked unbelievable. He hit 2 crucial back shoulder throws on the same drive, on the game-winning drive. Yeah, absolute insanity from Bo Nix in that fourth quarter, and that is why he makes my winners list, and you're going to do that despite the 27-50 stat line. Still throws for 279 yards, has the 2 passing touchdowns, and then you've got the rushing touchdowns. What a fourth quarter. I'm not gonna, you're gonna hear this a lot. I don't know if I can say what a game. It's gonna be what a fourth quarter because that's what the game was. It's like I said in yesterday's video. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. The game was a tale of 4 quarters, not 2 halves, 4 quarters, because the Giants were dominant for the first 3 quarters. But anyways, I'm getting into yesterday's video. Go check that out if you want to hear my analysis on all of that. That's going to run us into our first loser. Sean Payton, what were you doing for the first 3 quarters, man? What were you doing? The play calling was incredibly suspect. We kind of run into the same issue of Denver just would not commit to the run game during any of the first half, and that was pretty much explicitly clear during that goal-to-go sequence that I mentioned in yesterday's video. There's going to be a lot of callback to that video as well, so go check that out. I'm serious. It's a good video. My voice is shot in it, but it's a good video. My voice is still kind of shot today, but maybe my voice can also go on the losers list. Anywho, I don't know what the game plan was, honestly. I mean, you're already down, and that goal-to-go sequence is basically the epiphany, or not the epiphany, it is the epitome, there's the word I'm looking for, of what Sean Payton's play calls were yesterday. You had, obviously, and we went over this, the one run with J.K. Dobbins. You should have kept doing that. Then you try the fancy pass to Bowles, which, would have worked. The ball got batted. That one just kind of is what it is. Still kind of a what are you thinking play call. Going for style points when you're already down. Then you get a rollout pass, or it was just a gun rollout pass that cuts off half the field. Not sure what we're thinking. And then it's a wide receiver screen on 4th and 2, which is 4th and goal at that point. What are you thinking, man? And that was another thing that I know a lot of us Broncos fans were pissed off about during the game, was just the constant use of the screen game. And like I said, I can think of maybe 2 that worked, and it was the Mims screen and then the one they threw to Tyler Bidet. At what point do you realize, you're 2 for however many you called? I'm pretty sure you're batting under 200 for the game on the screenplays or on the little swing passes. Sean Payton needs to open up this playbook, and he needs to run the ball. That's the fundamental. You got to run the ball. You got to stick to the fundamentals, because getting cute, busting all the tricks out of the bag like they were trying to with the end arounds, screens, what have you, not gonna fly. Not gonna fly. Now, I thought about putting fourth quarter Sean Payton on the winners list, but that felt like a little too nitpicky, overkill, whatever. Sean Payton is a loser for the game, okay? Fourth quarter Sean Payton gets a pass, but Sean Payton's a loser for the game. Let's make things positive. We've got Justin Strnad is making himself a winner. Had a heck of a game defensively, and that's outside of what got him on this list initially. The interception. That interception was the catalyst for the Broncos comeback, because, I mean, sure, they put some points on the board on the drive before that. If the Giants are able to punt that ball, the Giants are still feeling really, really good about themselves. Now, I don't know what possessed Brian Dable to call a pass right there, to be honest, because you're still up multiple scores. You can run the ball, force Denver to burn their last timeout, and suddenly they can't stop the clock. Football 101. But Justin Strnad making that play, bluffing the blitz just to drop back into coverage and snare that thing out of the air. Now, granted, it was an awful dart throw. Pun unintended. There's a dartboard behind me. Awful, awful dart throw that I just don't think he got his feet set with the pocket kind of closing in on him. You can't do that in those sorts of situations, and that is why they are called rookie mistakes. He's going to learn from that. Jackson Dart's going to learn from that. But everything entailed, Justin Strnad, winner in my book. Let's move on to another loser, and everybody saw this coming. NFL officiating. What are we doing? What are we doing on that final drive? Call me Chris Hansen, the way I'm going to tell these officials to take a seat. Let's talk about this. All right, ticky-tacky roughing the passer call on a play that should have been short. All right, you've got 2 whammies in one play. You had, I don't even remember who made that catch. I want to say Wan'Dale Robinson made that catch on 4th and 19. Gets tackled short of the sticks. Everybody but apparently the official saw it. And the running joke at this point has to be that the refs had the money line on this game, because, my God, that final drive, the officiating was horrendous. And I did say this last episode, I don't like being a, blame the refs guy. But holy shit, the officiating on that final drive was just god awful. Obviously the missed spot, then you get the ticky-tacky roughing call. Nobody in the world seemed to agree with, except, people in New York, what have you. And then you move on to just a couple of plays later, the Riley Moss pass interference. No, that was not pass interference. You look at it, it is basically textbook defensive coverage. It's textbook cornerback play. Riley Moss is stuck to the guy, and sure, you can point out there was a little bit of contact. Sure there was. It's football. There's gonna be contact. It's like that one meme, there's a cow outside, it's a cow farm, you're gonna have cows outside. It's football. You're gonna have contact. I played football. There's gonna be contact. And the real fact of the matter is on that too is Riley Moss got his head around to the ball and batted it away. And they still flagged him. And as far as I remember, it wasn't even the guy on the side of the play. It was the guy all the way on the other side of the field, 53 plus yards away. What are we doing? NFL officiating. NFL officiating is another loser of today. Now, we're going to make this a little bit of a 2-for-1 here on the winners. They both shared a game orange soda in the recap. Sutton and Mims, man, just for that final drive alone I don't think Knicks really targeted anybody else on that drive at all. You had the big completion to Mims. I think there was the back shoulder to get him actually into field goal range. So Mims makes 2 huge catches on that drive, if I'm remembering correctly. And then Sutton just to jump over a guy and basically catch it on the other side of his helmet, just to come down with it uncontested, pretty much. Yeah, attaboy. Not to mention, Cortland Sutton had a really good game. Marvin Mims had a really good game, as it was, I guess, for Broncos receiving standards, given the state of the offense right now. But, you know, just when you've got two guys that go 6 catches for what was the number that I came up with last week? I think it was like 172 yards between the two. Absolute cinema of a ball game, and that's going to get both of them into our winners category. But now we got to turn back to the negatives. Yeah, we got a double whammy this one here. We've gone 2 winners. We got to go 2 losers before we go to our last couple. Actually, we'll do all 3 losers before we really end this off on a special note. Dre Greenlaw getting himself in trouble. He has spun U-Tree's Wheel of Discipline and has drawn a 1-game suspension for bitching a ref out for trying to screw the Broncos out of that game. From what I've read, he apparently made threatening comments. I've kind of seen some people getting upset, saying the ref was kind of shoving him as well at some point. Chris Abrams-Drain kind of had to try and get between him and mediate. I guarantee that Greenlaw is going to appeal that. I don't know if the NFL is going to grant his appeal any sort of clemency or whatever we shall say. I don't know if Greenlaw is going to win the appeal. I think the league kind of tries to make an example out of that. Who knows? But the way it is, Dre Greenlaw does land himself on the losers list. Your first start of the year, and you find a way to get yourself tossed out of the next one, buddy. Yikes. Yikes. Loser number 4 is going to be Brian Dable. First of all, that was my phone ringing. Anyways, Brian Dable, I believe has certainly put himself back on the hot seat for sure. That end of the end of the game was not managed well. So many opportunity. I get that Cam Scatterboot was not having the best day on the ground, but he's still going for like almost 4 yards a pop. It was like 3.8 yards a pop that Scatterboot was going for. He had a couple of good runs in that game too. I don't understand why, when you're 3 scores up for the New York Giants, why you are not running the ball. And, you know, same issue I'm getting on with Sean Payton. Why are you not running the ball in that situation, given everything going on? You've already got the win, Dable. You've got a 3-score lead with 6 minutes to go. Why aren't you running the ball and putting the Broncos in their grave? Brian Dable led the Broncos back in this game. Now, extensively, too, you could say the Giants D coordinator, you know, by extension. We could just say the Giants coaching are losers in this game. Although, really, you know, I don't know. Brian Dable, like, he called a good offensive game until that 4th quarter. And really, you know, obviously the play calling did kind of lead to the Stranad interception one way or another. Brian Dable's going to find himself on today's loser list. Just going to throw that out there. And our final loser, okay, the last bit of negative that we get is RJ Harvey. Now, yes, I know RJ Harvey scored a touchdown. Ender Games was very happy about that. Because they started RJ in fantasy. He got a touchdown, a catch, and 2 yards. If you see this, I most certainly hope that helped you squeak out a win. Definitely wasn't the best day to start RJ Harvey. I'll say that much. But Harvey is still going to find himself in the losers category for just an egregious special teams error. He fields a ball at the 6, and I don't know if he just steps out of bounds or if his momentum just carries him out of bounds, but he goes out of bounds at the 6. I don't know if he was trying to execute like the loophole in the rules where, like, if you're out of bounds and then you touch the ball, then you get it on the out of bounds spot, then it's an out of bounds penalty. Buddy, you gotta be out of bounds first. And he didn't see the kick return squad after that. That was Tyler Bidet that came in for a lot of kick returns, which, you know, I don't think Tyler Bidet had that on his bingo card for the day, but it ended up happening anyways. All because of RJ Harvey's gaffe. Not to mention, you know, he does go 4 carries, no yards. Just a bad day if your name is RJ Harvey. My goodness. Now, to end this off on really just the most beautiful note that we possibly could. Our final winners of the game are Demaryius Thomas and the Super Bowl 50 alumni. So many members of that special team were at the game today to be honored by the organization that they gave really like their best years to. Talib, Harris, all of those no-fly zone guys got to reunite back in Denver. Demaryius Thomas's family was there. I really just should say DT. And on a game where you're celebrating not just the achievement that team was able to come out and achieve, I guess, I'm kind of losing my words here, but, by extension, where you're inducting DT into the Ring of Honor, or you're, if anything, I don't know if they, I don't think they full-blown retired his number, but, you've got 88 in the Ring of Honor, and I don't think they've given that number out since Demaryius Thomas. I'm shocked if they don't retire it at some point, but really, it wasn't just a celebration of DT's playing career. By extension, it was a celebration of DT's life. Of just, from all of the stories that we've ever heard, one of just the best human beings that just so happened to be so fucking good at football. I was blessed as a kid that when I really started getting into football, that was when DT was coming into the league. I got to see his 2011 wildcard walk-off touchdown that Tebow threw to him. Just the most improbable play in the most improbable scenario, and DT was the guy to do it. I got to watch him go off with Peyton Manning, and I got to see him hoist that Lombardi. In 2015, I got to see him continue to just be great until Denver traded him or let him go, and then until the day he died. Demaryius Thomas will forever be in our hearts. Us Broncos fans will forever keep his memory alive, because Demaryius Thomas was as outstanding of a human being as he was a wide receiver. That's going to be this episode of Crushing It, everybody. Let me know what you think of the format. Let me know. I'm just we've just spitballed the whole time. I had some notes on the other monitor, so I actually had who my winners were, and then everything else was just going. I'm looking at myself on my OBS, and that's all it is. Just me. So yeah, let me know what you think of the format. Go check out yesterday's recap video. Long video, but it's kind of a banger, and I was fighting through some voice problems. My throat was completely worn. This video is going to be kind of long too, but it is what it is. But yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Trying to hit 200 by the end of the NFL season. We can do it, and you can do it by clicking subscribe. Like the video as well, and if you're on mobile, there's a new hype feature on it or something that helps bump smaller creators like me into the algorithm. So if you want to help out small YouTubers and you want to help me out, you get the idea. Hype, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Also, apologies. Again, I made this announcement in the start of the video, but I'm not going to be here for Dallas and Denver. We'll do the post-game stuff on Monday. It's just going to have to be the way that it is. Like I said, we'll probably put winners and losers together in that. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Go Broncos. God bless Bo Nix. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.
Shotgun for Tim Tebow. Short motion is Eddie Royal. Tim play fakes in the pocket. Sets, throws, pass caught. Demaryius Thomas out over the 45 midfield. Here we go. 40, 35, foot race. 20, 15, 10. Touchdown. Denver is over. It's over in Denver.
And I hope he felt it, because I definitely felt the love he had for me.
These past 10 days had been filled with a lot of emotions, sadness, regret, disbelief, happiness, laughter.
Third down and goal from the 9. Payton, empty backfield, 3-man rush. He bounces around, he throws. DT is there. Are they going to say touchdown? Touchdown! Demaryius Thomas. Move over Brett Favre and make room for the new king.